In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install the Blendmount mirror mount for the Uniden R7 radar detector. Hey, I'm Andy, professional performance car driver with a passion for well-engineered cars and driving with friends on mountain roads. On this channel, I share with you my driving experiences and bring you videos on new gear and car reviews. So the RS currently has a radar detector. I have a Escort Max 360 installed. And what I noticed here traveling with friends over the last few months is that the Max 360 has become really chatty lately, meaning that the blind spot monitoring systems that are out there are really causing this thing to go off a lot, like false alerts. And even though it's had an update, it's still picking them up, where I noticed that both the Valentine 1 Gen 2 and the Uniden R7 really cut out a lot of the BSM chatter, as well as both the Valentine and the Uniden alert you sooner to radar than the Escort Max 360. So I felt it was time to up my game and switch out radar detectors. So today I'm going to be installing this on the RS. I also will be installing a mount on the M2 CS. First I want to get the hard wiring done for the M2, and then I'll get the mirror mount done. And then the Uniden, since I don't drive both cars at the same time, then the Uniden will just kind of move between the two cars. So anyway, I purchased this from Blendmount. We'll put a link in the description below on where you can go and plug in your vehicle make, etc. It is dependent on the type of mirror you have, so make sure that you select the right mirror in your car, and if you need to take a picture and match it up against what's on the Blendmount website, it's worth it to do that to make sure that you get the right one. They give you the screws. These are Allen screws, and then they also give you a small Allen wrench, some washers, and then inside here is the actual mount itself. That'll go on the mirror, and then the radar detector will just kind of slide in here. Typically you just push these things down. You can see that flex there a little bit, at least I think you can. See how that flexes, and then the mirror mount will just slide on the radar detector. I'm sorry, I'll slide in there, and then this will clip on to the mirror. You get the idea. So that's that, and then here is the Uniden R7. I like this case that it comes in. It's actually kind of nice. I'm not going to be doing a full review on the R7. I'll talk a little bit about it, but it does come in this nice little pouch case here. And then here is the Uniden R7. There's the buttons on the top, some of the buttons on the side to mark certain locations, as well as to filter out some as well. So let's go ahead, let's get in the RS and let's get started. So on the Uniden R7, there's a couple of Allen screws here. This one on the side here is going to allow you to kind of pivot and swing it if you want to get it straight or you need it on an angle. So that thing's kind of nice that it pivots there. And then there are two Allen screws on the bottom. One allows you to pivot this mount here, and then the other one just opens up the jaws, for lack of a better term. So that's when I'm going to insert the Allen here, and I'm going to turn this, and you can see that it's opening up those jaws. So I'll open them up a fair amount there to see how much I need to open them to get them on here, hoping that you don't extend it too much and then the thing drops off and then you're cussing yourself because you just dropped the Allen screw on the inside of a black car with black carpet and everything else, which is always fun. Okay, so get that on there. Okay, then here's the Uniden R7, and you can see this little slit here in the top, right? And that's where I want to insert. So I'm going to push down on this and kind of get this guy to go in here. There you go. And then we're going to plug this in the side, and there it is. So this one probably needs to be adjusted a little bit. Looks like it's hanging down. So I'm gonna pull that thing down. There is actually a button on top of the R7 that you press down to release. I was like, how the heck do you get this thing off here? Because the Max 360 just slid off. This one has a button on there. So let's do this again. So pull that down. And you hear that little snap? Well, there's a tab up in the top of the R7. So you have to like hold that tab down, and then you can maneuver this thing to then slide it off like that. So you just have to read the instructions, and it really helps. And then we plug that in there, and there we go. It's set. When you purchase yourself a new radar detector, I would suggest you go into either the manufacturer's site, or you can look at some YouTubers out there that show you how to configure some of the settings on your radar detector. Now, on most radar detectors, what ends up happening is you have to go in the car, hook it up, whether it's with the pre-wired or the little dongle thing that goes into a 12-volt charger in your car. And then you have to sit in your car out in your driveway or something to configure it. And what I noticed by watching a YouTube video was a guy had one of these little dongle things. You know, it has the 12-volt DC adapter here, USB. So then you can plug this into your computer, or if you have a dongle for a regular 110 outlet. And then it allows you, like in the comfort of sitting at a desk, to sit there and configure your radar detector than sitting in your car and doing it. So I'll put a link in the description below for this dongle thingy, but I found that really helpful. The other thing I did is I went out and looked at some video reviews on the Uniden R7, and I came across one, Vortex radar, and he does a pretty good job comparing radar detectors as well as how to configure it. He gives you some general configuration settings, and then he gives you his preferences as well. And in Vortex radar, they also have a link to written instructions. So instead of sitting there watching a video and you're like pausing, reversing the whole bit, he actually has a typed up section as well, so then you can go through that. So I've previously configured this and got it set up. I do like that you can adjust some of the colors on here. So, you know, some radar detectors, they have, just a natural, they're either just a red or a blue or whatever. This one here allows you to configure different colors and allows you to configure different colors for different radars. So you could have K in one color, KA in a color, laser in another color. It does have some of the lockouts, which are good. This particular one has GPS memorization. So this will remember locations, and then it won't chatter, it won't make noise, because it'll say, oh, I know that's a false, so I'm just gonna ignore that. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay healthy and stay safe.